If you're a PhD student experiencing the dreaded writer's block, ChatGPT can help you smash through that without compromising your ethics or integrity as a researcher. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 fantastic prompts that will snap you out of writer's block and get those fingers tapping away again. If we've not met before, hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Yardley, and I've spent the last 20 years supporting PhD and master's degree students through their dissertations. ChatGPT is one of, if not the, most helpful pieces of tech that I've come across so far in supporting you as you write your thesis. Note, I said supporting you as you write your thesis, not writing your thesis for you. You can use it ethically, you can use it with integrity, and that's what we're all about on this channel. If you're watching this video, you probably want to learn more about how you can use ChatGPT ethically in a non-sketchy way that you're not going to feel weird about. If so, you might be interested in this. This is a PDF guide that I've produced about using ChatGPT with integrity in every chapter of your dissertation, and it contains an absolute ton of ChatGPT prompts. You can grab this by clicking on the link that is appearing on the screen right now, or you can check out the link in the description later. Okay, before we get into the prompts, the most important thing that you need to do to make sure that ChatGPT gives you the best, the most relevant results that are tailored specifically to your PhD is to tell it as much information about your research as possible before you ask it any questions. So open up a new chat and tell ChatGPT your topic, your title, your aims and objectives, any of your research questions, and tell it the stage that you're currently at. Then tell it that you need some help with writer's block and you're going to ask it some additional questions. But before you ask it those additional questions, ask it if it understands what you've just typed in and if there's any other information that it needs from you to help it generate results for you. If it does ask for any other information, then type that in before you start typing in the prompts that I'm about to share with you. I cannot stress the importance of providing as much information as possible to ChatGPT before you start asking it any specific questions about your research. So many of the students that I support and the students that get in touch with me have tried using ChatGPT and they've just kind of given up on it, and they've told me, well, it doesn't generate anything helpful, nothing useful comes out of it. But it is like most things in life, okay? What you put into it is going to determine what comes out of it. So by taking the time to share with it as much information as possible about your research, what it spits out is going to be much more relevant, much more tailored to your PhD. If you don't, what you're going to get is just a load of generic nonsense. Right then, prompt 1, which is all about structure. Often, writer's block stems from the fact that you don't really know where to start because you don't have a clear framework to begin with. You might be working on a particular chapter and you know roughly what you want to write, but you don't know what the headings are going to look like. You don't know what order in which you're going to present the material. Let's imagine we're struggling with our literature review, and let's get ChatGPT to help us. Now, having typed in all of that information about your research at the beginning, you can ask it this. I'm struggling on structuring my literature review. Can you use the information I've already shared with you and suggest a list of 10 provisional headings? From there, it will generate some headings for you. Now, some of these headings you might already have in mind, some might be things you haven't thought about, and some might be helpful for you in terms of figuring out where to put that floating material that we all have, those paragraphs and those sentences that don't seem to fit anywhere. So this is a good start. It's something to work with. It gives you some food for thought. On to prompt number 2, which is all about being more critical. When PhD students submit drafts to their supervisor, many of them receive the feedback that they need to be more critical. That's certainly the case with the students that I've supported over the years, and it's no wonder because the PhD literature review is much bigger than any other literature review that you've done before. You've got a lot of ground to cover, so often the first few drafts are all about breadth rather than depth. And that's fine because you've got a lot to cover, but what you've got to do is go back and look at what you've written through a critical lens. So what you can do here is tell ChatGPT this. Let's use one of those example headings and ask it to generate 4 key critical questions that you can ask yourself to ensure you're being critical enough in this specific section. And here it's generated some material that's going to help us be super critical in our literature review. One important thing you'll notice here is that we are not asking ChatGPT to write the literature review for us. We are asking it to suggest things that are going to be helpful for us in our own process of writing. We are writing the literature review ourselves. This is our own work. We're not copying, we're not plagiarising, we are simply getting some support with the writing process. ChatGPT is like our writing coach. It's not doing the writing for us, but it is standing there on the sidelines suggesting things that we can do to make our own writing process a bit more smooth. Right then, last prompt, which is all about theory. How do you incorporate more theory into your literature review? Theory is a big deal when it comes to your PhD because your work is going to make a contribution to theory. So you need to make sure that you are situating your study within the relevant theoretical frameworks as you go along. You need to be aware of the key theories that are relevant to your work, and that is something that you've got to do with your own brain, okay? Talk to your supervisor about it. Notice the kind of theory that's being referred to in the literature you're reading. However, when it comes to integrating this into your own literature review and getting some ideas about how you can articulate it, we can ask ChatGPT to help us here. We can ask it to start some sentences to generate some writing prompts that we can then pick up from there. So you would write in a command like this and see what it comes up with. And here you go. There are a few helpful sentence starters that you can insert throughout your literature review at the relevant points to ensure that you're rooting your work in the existing theoretical frameworks. I hope you found this helpful, and feel free to drop any questions in the comments and check out my guide to using ChatGPT ethically. I'll be back soon with another video on navigating the messy and the magical of the PhD journey. I'll see you then.